And hello and welcome to IVGTC Season 5 Round 3 at Donington Park in rainy and cold Great Britain. Typical British weather. And today I am joined again by our racer slash co-commentator Ivano. How are you doing?
Well, Julian, I'm doing pretty well, and as you said before, we are at Donington. It's a little rainy, but a little rain can't hurt anybody. Today, I'm stepping away from the racing seat and here at the commentary table. So, how you doing?
Thank you. Fine. I'm really excited to be finally racing at Donington here at IVGTC. This is objectively the best track in the race world. So,
Sure, a lot of people will debate with you on that.
Nope, no question about that.
All right, whatever helps you sleep better at night.
Thinking about Donington sure does. Alright, we are in the qualifying session. And currently we have Emilia Anderson leading the way. Just 2/10 ahead of Merco VR. And this in the rain is getting pretty close.
Yes, Julian. So in the rain, it's all about making sure that the car, you can handle the car under these tricky conditions. And it seems like Emilia and Merker have gotten the hang of this little cold rain condition pretty well, along with Casillas and Psycho Kaiser as well.
That is true. We have 4 drivers that are currently within 6/10 at the top of the standings. 20 drivers overall seem to be racing today with 13 minutes left in the qualifying session. Oh, as Merco VR is having a bit of trouble at the old hairpin and is going to reset to pits.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But yeah, this is looking like another good finish for the SR team, which is partnered by Emilia Anderson and Le Casillas.
Those two are surely a dominant duo here on IVGCC. I believe they've been coming. I believe at Laguna Seca they came 1-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and at Monza about the same, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, those two teamed up, and it's kind of scary. We'll see if their partnership continues into Season 6, however. Maybe someone else will take up Emilia or Casillas. Maybe a new team or a new driver will come and challenge Emilia and the dominance. Who knows?
Ooh, are you telling me there's gonna be a silly season?
I don't know. I'm just like, maybe. This is motorsport. You can never tell what's gonna happen.
You can never tell what's gonna happen. I like to hear that. That is something I'm really looking forward to. And someone else who's looking forward to something is Psycho Kaiser in 4th place currently. They'll be looking to get a good finish again today and maybe challenge for that top VTuber space against Merco VR and Emilia Anderson.
Yes, that is true. Last round at Monza, Psycho had a bit of a troublesome start, but it seems like this week he's, having a bit of a better time at the track compared to last week at Monza.
Yes, that is true, and this time we even got the right liveries.
Yeah, boy, that was a bit of a blunder last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you didn't remind me. You were not there to remind me. That is my excuse, and that is it. Currently in P5 we have Victor Massato, who is just now exiting the pits to get a few more laps in qualifying in. Currently 1.3 seconds behind the lead of Emilia Anderson. Still a competitive time. And, well, who knows what's going to happen today. After all, it is rainy Donington. There is going to be consistency by the lead drivers rather than pure pace.
Yes, that is correct. Before the broadcast, we've seen quite a lot of people sipping out, whether it's people in the midfield or even top runners like Emilian Merker, as we saw earlier. So consistency is going to be key around Donington right now.
Exactly. And we have Albert Jörgi, the teammate of Victor Masato, right behind them. They had a good run up until this point on the track when they run off just now. But yeah, this team is also a rather challenging one for the top spaces in the team standings, BM Interplanetary. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have in their sleeves today.
I will say they're kind of like, no, I don't mean it to be disrespectful, like kind of like a diet version of Emilia and Casillas in a way. Right? They do get bonus points in one thing. They have matching cars. So hey, bonus points.
Well, Casillas and Anderson also have matching cars, just different sponsor colors.
And just different cars in general, I mean.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, different cars. Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's true. That is true. In 7, currently, we have Leon JHK. That is some good pace on the standings overall by the Test Drive Unlimited driver, who last time around let me know that he likes being called a Test Drive Unlimited VTuber. So let's repeat that.
Compared to last week, Leon is very quick. Last week he was around the lower midfield, if I'm remembering right. But this week he's flying in the top 10. Seems to be very consistent around Donington right now in the wet. So that's gonna help him out a lot going towards into the race.
Exactly. As we said already, consistency is key. Unfortunately, one person that hasn't shown the consistency yet this season is Jordan Brunch, currently in 8th position. Still, the Lexus driver, we're gonna be looking forward to seeing them finish a race today, finish even in a good position in the upper midfield, maybe even as they are currently qualifying, it seems.
Yes, admittedly, Jordan has been a bit of a loose cannon of sorts, really inconsistent. Sometimes he's in the top 10, sometimes the lower midfield, sometimes in the top 5. He's all over the place, pretty much in every track by the looks of things. But let's see if maybe he can get a hold of being a more consistent driver as the season goes on.
Yes, and directly following the Scotsman in the standings currently is Akito Asuzagawa, another Lexus driver for Koneko Racing. Well, what can you say about them other than they're a seasoned veteran of IVGTC at this point?
Exactly, Akira has been here for every single season. Some of them full-time, some of them part-time. But either way, he's been with us since the beginning. He knows pretty much how everybody in the league drives, so he knows how to take advantage of every single situation. So yeah, definitely a driver to watch out, even if he's not qualifying the highest right now.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, maybe the one situation that Akito does not yet know how to deal with is rain around Donington especially.
Yeah, well, if Raceroom had Donington and rain when we were racing there, maybe he could have gotten some experience in then, but this is now. And I'm sure he's gotten some practice laps in across the week. So.
And just improved into 7th position, Akito Asuzagawa, by over a second from their previous time. Lovely showing.
Yeah, he's got nothing to worry about. He's a fast learner anyways, so he should be fine in today's race.
Yes, and the 3rd Lexus currently in the top 10 is, the 4th Lexus rather, is Cobb 90, the teammate of Jordan Brunch for Team Hikers.
Yes, Cobb 90 has been a bit of an on and off driver as far as IVGTC goes. He drove a couple of races in Season 2, a couple of races in Season 3, a handful in... I think he only raced the finale of Season 4, but he's been more active here and Season 6. Wait, no, this is Season 5, my bad, my god. Yeah. Season 6 is on my brain already, even though we're only halfway into this season, sorry. Excited.
Yeah, so let us quickly go through the rest of the grids. Currently we have Gary Slater currently in P11, Tom Hartog in P12, Alexander Arthur in P13, Panic Fungus in 14, currently being crashed out of the way on the straight. Holy macaroni. Adrian Dubrovka in P15, let the camera zoom there. We have Mentrix in P16, Overdrive in P17, Alex Benson in 18, Trazione Integrale in 19, and Kageru Kanemoto currently without a lap in P20. Let's look further up on to the grid again, as Emilia Anderson is currently looking to improve the lap by 1.5 tenths, but Merkur goes fast right now, improving over Emilia Anderson by 0.3 of a second, but Emilia Anderson currently on a flyer of a lap, being held up by a fanboy Hooters driver. That might be Trazione Integrale, still a bit up on that time, but losing on the straight thanks to being stuck behind a slower driver in the previous corners.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, you know, that what these kind of things happen. You can't really predict that, since everybody's always on the track, just trying to get some extra bit of practice in rather than set a good lap, a better lap time of sorts. So yeah, here in IVGTC we always have traffic. You know, the usual.
Yes, but Emilia Anderson still has a few laps in order to make up on that lost first position. Another person who's currently looking to make up on positions is Le Casillas. 2.5 tenths up on their time, challenging for the top 2 positions, or aiming to at least, with their time as they come onto the back straight. It seems we're still 1.5 tenths in the pocket. This doesn't look like it will be enough to challenge for the top 2 grid positions right at this moment, but saving a lot of time into the chicane. Now 4 tenths up on that time, but it seems like the lap has gotten invalidated at the last second there, so Le Casillas had to reset to pits.
Yeah, it looked like he cut a little bit on the extra S's, which I would assume is what gave him an invalid lap. Real unfortunate, you know, he was flying up, and it looks like Merkur's improved again by 1/10 of a second.
That is true. Merkur has again improved by 1/10 of a second. Now 1.2 tenths up on Emilia Anderson. The Swedish VTuber, though, looking to retaliate as they come right now into the chicane. Did they cut it? No. But they are losing time. They are losing much time through there. And there's a VM Interplanetary driver going out of the way of Emilia Anderson there into the hairpin. How much time can she save to the start-finish line? Coming around the last corner on the track and is equal with their time, saving a bit on the exit, however, and improves into P1, 1.2 tenths up on Merkur.
This is some insane driving right now. Merkur and Emilia almost cracking into the 139. They're driving as if the track is not even wet. Like, it's kind of crazy to me.
It is a bit crazy. Ow, Emilia Anderson going for a bit of a slide there, going down Craner curves into the old hairpin. Oh, and this seems like Alexander Arthur, I believe, getting a bit in the way. But Emilia Anderson still a tenth up on their time. As we see Alexander Arthur in the back going off track.
Emilia seems to be pushing quite a lot. Look, she's got pole already, but I think she's just hungry for more.
There's nothing wrong with going for gold and going for platinum even in that regard, I have to say. But there are green times all around now. We have Emilia Anderson in green, Lekasea, Psycho Kaiser, Cop 90 and Gary Slater all improving on the laps, all looking to improve currently.
And now the qualifying is now over. These are the final laps people are going to be able to put, as I don't think there's going to be enough time to go for a second lap, I would assume.
And Emilia Anderson losing quite a bit of time on the exit of the last corner. Improves just barely, but not able to cut into the 139s. Psycho Kaiser, however, is looking to maybe catch P3 off of Le Casellas, losing a bit of time coming onto the back straight. Psycho Kaiser still having a bunch of more corners, 2 more corners in actuality in front of them, where they can save a whole bunch of time or lose it for that matter. Oh, yes, going a bit wide like, there.
Yep. It looks like in the wet, the Lexus's top speed advantage is being a little bit less relevant right now. It really does starting to show how little shaky the car actually is.
Yes, that is true. Psycho Kaiser comes over the finish line to manifest their 4th place. Panic Fungus will be the last of our drivers coming across the finish line, not improving their time. Improving the time, but not improving their position on P14. So, let us go through the grid. We have a bit of trouble right now. Reset the focal length. There we go. There we go. Now we can see what is going on. In P1 we have Emilia Anderson. Then we have Merkur VR. We have Le Casellas in P3. Psycho Kaiser in 4. Victor Masato in 5, followed by teammate Albert György. Akito Asuzagawa in 7. Leon JHK in 8th. Jordan Brunch and Cop 90, the 2 teammates in 9 and 10. Gary Slater in 11, Tom Hartog in 12, Alexander Arthur in 13, Panic Fungus in 14, Adrian Dubrovka in 15, Mentrix VT in 16, DJ Overdrive in 17, Alex Benson in 18, Trazione Integrale in 19, and Kageru Kanemoto rounding up the back of the grid. I have to say, I really like all of the liveries that Kageru Kanemoto is driving. Even though they are not the quickest driver, they are sure one of the most stylish.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It seems like the best liveries are usually around midfield to the back of the grid. I think the top runners seem to be more focused on going fast rather than looking stylish. Which, kind of sad.
When it is really... when really both is very important, but... one is just a bit more important than the other. Unfortunately.
Yeah, true. Sadly, fashion contests do not win races.
Not yet, anyways.
Oh my god. Please.
Well, there are innovative structures, like for example Formula E with the fan boost. And imagine if some fan boost thing were added to other racing series.
I'm still like kind of on the fence about fan boost in Formula E, because I'm still like unsure about it.
That is fair enough.
Yeah.
Everything can be unsure about. There are no hard facts in this life, only relatives and subjective feelings. Well, kind of.
Well, I don't think we need to get philosophical here right now. We have some racing to do.
We have 1 hour of racing ahead, that is true. But we still have a bit of time in this warm-up lap that is currently going on.
Yeah, not gonna be much of a warm-up considering it's a rather cold and damp afternoon around Donington right now.
That is true, and it is going to stay that way for the entire race as far as the weather forecast foretold.
Well, typical British weather.
Typical British. Watery weather.
Well, I always like warm-up laps. Just allows everybody to get loose, crack a few jokes with each other before the serious stuff begins.
That is true. There are a bunch of our drivers currently together in a voice chat, having fun, just having fun together. I reckon. So yeah.
I was there in the Monza voice chat. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. Sometimes we actually laugh too much and cause accidents. I'm joking.
Oh.
Actually, don't.
Okay.
We don't talk much during race time, but qualifying and practice, yeah, we joke around a lot. It's all part of the fun.
Good thing you corrected yourself with the crashing there, because you are, of course, talking right now to a steward, so...
Well, speaking of crashing, we have a Lexus spinning out. I believe that was Akito Zagawa. Yes, it is.
That was Akito Zagawa. They have to go ahead to their assigned grid place now. Managed to do so in time, so they are not going to get reset. We are in race 1. We will be starting right around the corner, as Emilia Anderson is currently on the start-finish straight. Looks to be ahead of Mirko VR. As we go green, 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 let's go racing.
So it looks like Emilia's gonna be getting away just fine as people are starting to punch up behind him. There's Decassis going up the inside of Mirko, and we have a VM infantry car going off the track there into Redgate. It looks like everybody seemingly got out of it without much trouble.
No, the VM Interplanetary got tagged by Panic Fungus, I believe, and there has been carnage now in the back of the grid.
Oh yes, that is a lot of cars facing in the wrong direction there. Talk about speaking too soon.
Spoke too soon. But... and Blake Casillas is leading the race right now. Got the position from their teammate Emilia Anderson.
Yes, let's see if they're gonna be doing some maybe some team orders, maybe give each other a slipstream, pull away from everybody else, and have a nice comfortable 1-2, or maybe if they're gonna have little fisticuffs going.
One person who certainly does not have a nice time in this starting grid, at least, is Mirko VR, dropping 2 positions behind Akito Asagawa and Victor Masato right now. Victor Masato, though, having a really nice start, making up a few positions into P3.
Yes, he's managed to avoid all the trouble that has been happening through that first lap. Now he's into the podium position. Let's see if Masato can keep that, though, because he was a few tenths behind in terms of pace during qualifying. So let's see if the others are going to be able to catch up back to him in the next hour, or if others will also keep making mistakes and Masato just keeps position for a nice, lovely little podium.
That is right, we have 1 hour of racing ahead of us. And as you might be able to tell from our timing tower, there is also a mandatory pit stop that drivers will have to take during this race. So there's a bit of tactics will be going on there as well, though these wet tires do not have too much tire degradation. So tire life management will not be the biggest of issues today.
Yes, I would agree. I would assume some of the front runners will try to just extend all the way to the end of the pit window. But let's see if some people are going to be gambling with that pit window as well. Maybe do 1 lap too many and miss it. I would imagine something like that might happen today, considering, as you said, wet tires do not degrade that fast.
Mirko VR, in the meantime, having been able to take up position 4 on the grid again, as there's a yellow flag with Mentrix and Tom Hartog. What happened there? Let us take a look back at the replay. Oh, Mentrix almost getting taken out on the run onto the start-finish straight. Start-finish straight. The back straight, of course. And taking the run into the chicane. What do? Just overdo it. Do not brake early enough and get caught out in the chicane.
Unfortunately for Mentrix, he has actually been running pretty decently at the start, but it looks like his luck has finally ran out. Now down to P19.
Yeah. Yes, so further up ahead we have Mirko VR side by side with Victor Masato, thinking better of it though, but gets a better run onto the back straight. Now is in front handsomely and is looking to keep that position that they earned in qualifying.
Yes, it looks like after an iffy little start, it looks like Mirko's finally got the pace back under him. Seems to be really just driving away now. But he still has Amelia and Casillas to catch back up to, who seem to be running away with it.
That is true, and unfortunately we didn't see what happened to Akito Asasagawa, but they lost 4 positions in the last half lap. As the pit window opens, that means the first people can dive into the pits if they so wish.
That is true. We have a 50-minute pit window, so let's see what's going to happen within those 50 minutes. As I said before, people might gamble considering the low tire degradation, allowing them to maybe run out the whole 50 minutes until the very end. But as I said, you don't want to miss the window.
You definitely don't want to miss the window. You are going to get, I think, a drive-through a stop-go penalty, or even a disqualification. I'm not quite sure at the moment.
Well, I don't handle with the penalties, so if you don't know, I don't know either.
I don't handle this kind of penalty as well as the game does so autonomously. Albert Georgi is looking to gain positions, catching up right now to DJ Overdrive as there's a yellow flag with Tom Hartog. Let's see what happened there. Looks like there had been an incident into the old hairpin. Just losing it under braking and spinning out at the old hairpin, yes.
Yeah, under rainy conditions, the old hairpin is actually a pretty tricky braking point to get right, because you're already carrying a decent amount of speed out of the craned curves. The line is there also pretty tight, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, another person who carried a much speed right now was Albert Georgi as they went past DJ Overdrive. Looking to gain a few positions back, going back into the points now, provisionally.
After the first corner incident at the start of the race, it looks like Georgi is finally getting the car back under him, trying to really reel back those positions that he lost.
And there's another yellow flag for Tom Hartog, this time in the chicane at the bottom of the hill. Just braking too late and running off into the grass there.
Yeah. The braking point for that hairpin is also pretty strange as well. Like, nothing about Donington is easy to understand, but once you do understand Donington, it's pretty fun.
That is true. Donington is a fun track once you understand it, once you understand the braking points. Albert Georgi now on the rear of Panic Fungus, looking to make up further positions that they lost earlier. Can they do something into the old hairpin? They're a bit too far back. That is an iffy spot to overtake anyways. The high-speed sections of Donington being tough to overtake in. Probably best to wait until the hairpins at the end of the track in order to try for some overtaking moves. But we have seen some moves right here where they currently are. Albert Georgi looking for it, breaking into it. Can they keep it? Yes! Keeping it on the track. Nicely done, overtaking Panic Fungus there without a problem.
Yeah, it looks like Georgi had a lot of pressure riding on Panic Fungus, as all the way back at the Craner curves, I saw that Fungus was almost sliding the car a little bit, so it looks like Albert was giving a good amount of pressure, just keeping a pressure on that Audi up until Coppice, where he was finally able to dive up the inside and get the overtake done.
We look further ahead, we have Akito Asasagawa following a fellow Lexus driver. Actually, all of the Lexi in a row currently on the racetrack, and all within 2.5 seconds of each other.
Pretty interesting. And all of them are Kaneka Racing members as well.
Sorry, but there was a yellow flag right now for Mirko VR. What happened there? Just getting a bit of loose. Oh, and not grazing the wall, unfortunately for them, but still losing a position to Victor Masato, and now having to work for that all over again.
Yes, it looks like Marco's really pushing that car hard right now. He's just trying to keep up the momentum, trying to possibly catch back to Emilia and Casillas as well. But right now he also has to get past Masato before he can do anything else. Even after getting past Masato, there's also the 10-second gap that he has to now make up as well.
And there is another yellow flag, this time for Cobb 90. What happened there? Let us take a look. It is looking to be at the hairpin. Was there any help with this? Just losing it on the acceleration, overdriving the car. Oversteering on acceleration. Unfortunate for Cobb 90.
Yeah, the Lexus is definitely a car that's very unstable under on corner exits. So with the wet also being a factor, not to mention it's also cold, as we mentioned a couple of times before. Yeah, it's not really a good combination for the Lexus drivers to be in right now. But it seems like most of them are pretty much holding their own pretty well.
Back ahead, the closest battle on field currently is Victor Masato against Mirko VR. Mirko looking to gain back the podium position from the VM interplanetary driver. Looking to do so into the chicane, and nicely done. Very safe overtake. Now they are 12 seconds behind Emilia Anderson and Le Casillas.
Yes, but not to mention, oh, we have Trazione spinning out and blocking Merkur. That is not good.
That means Victor Masato is again in P3.
Yes, sir, it is.
Leon JHK braking a bit too late for the hairpin at the bottom of the hill, managing to keep it on the road, however.
Trazione spinning out at the hairpin and sadly spinning right back towards in front of Merkur. All that hard work now gone in less than a second. Now all that work has to be done again.
And there is a yellow flag for Mentrix, sorry. Looks to be at the Craner curves. Let's take a look at the replay. Just going a bit off track there into the grass. Yeah, in the wet, you cannot touch grass.
Never.
Never. That is just no. And Mentrix just learned that in the tough way. And Alexander Arthur is now off. Let's take a look what happened there. Is that into turn 1? It looks to be. Oh, taking a very wide line on the replay and just braking too late for turn 1.
Yeah, and it's still struggling to get back onto track. Goes on the racing line, almost taking panic fungus with him. But thankfully, nobody hit the Mercedes, so looks like everybody's fine.
DJ Overdrive now all over the rear of Alex Benson. Two VTubers challenging each other right now. With Alex Benson goes a bit slidey there and goes off track.
Ooh, and right through the board. That board has been driven into.
I was just thinking of making a sort of lame joke like that, but yeah, well done, well done.
Here. Don't worry, I'm always here to make lame jokes and completely ruin the moment.
A person who is at all not lame right now is Gary Slater, who is, well, just was overtaken by Leon JHK. The Test Drive Unlimited racer, now in Assetto Corsa Competizione, is showing great promise for a good position today in the wet, as there is a back marker that goes out of the way, thankfully.
Looks like... Sorry.
That is Mentrix, and it looks like they stay in front of Gary Slater. And Jordan Brunch is... No, that is not Jordan Brunch. That is their teammate, Cop90, who is also battling there. Just gained a position due to the confusion. Just gained the position of Gary Slater.
It looks like Leon has really gotten the grips with using that older generation Audi, even if it doesn't really have the pace of the modern ones. Seems to be really still doing very well with it. You know, bonus points there.
Back in the front, we have Le Casellas and Emilia Anderson. They are right behind each other, and it looks like Emilia Anderson wants to go past, wants to go in the lead back again. But Le Casellas has been holding that lead since lap 1 and even has the purple lap with 140.0. Almost in the 39s, and that on race pace. That is impressive.
That is pretty impressive. I'm wondering if these two will battle hard enough to eventually break the 139 barrier. Break into the 139 barrier.
They should be pushing each other into the 39 barrier. Yes, that would be beautiful. Maybe we're going to see that today. Maybe we're going to see it only after the pit has been completed, but it's not going to look like they are doing the pit stop anytime soon.
Looks like my theory from the race might be coming true. They might be aware of the very low tire degradation and just be trying to carry the tires along until the very end of the pit window.
Just looking at a replay of DJ Overdrive saving it between the Craner curves and the old hairpin, going off track but saving it at the last minute. And Cop90 had an issue. Let's take a look. Is this the same thing that happened to them once already? Yes. Exactly the same thing. Overdriving it on the exit of the hairpin. Losing 2 positions in the process.
Those hairpins are already pretty problematic enough in the dry. I can't imagine how bad they must be in the wet.
Well, in the dry, the first hairpin is only that difficult already because there is it goes downhill. You don't really see how heavily it goes downhill if you're not driving there yourself. But you can feel it when you're braking into that corner. And that is, of course, accelerated. the problem of that is accelerated in the rain.
That's so true.
And
That little downhill is a lot more steeper than it looks as well.
yes, Akito Asasagawa being the first person to pit, doing so without getting any penalty and coming back out within the point scoring positions.
I would have imagined Akira might have been one of the ones that would have gone to the end of the pit window, but I guess not. I guess he just wants to maybe play it safe, just get the pit done and over with on the halfway point. Which, you know, is completely fair.
There's currently a battle going on for P17 between Alex Benson and Kageru Kanemoto. Kanemoto going off! Trying to avoid getting into the way of Psycho Kaiser there, who is blue flagging the two races.
Yes, it's always a bit of a tricky situation to go through when you're already battling, but then a lapping car is coming up behind you, trying to overtake you and the person you're trying to battle. So, yeah. It does give some advantage to the car that's attacking compared to the car that's defending, as you can just go into the slipstream of the lapping car and pass the car you're trying to overtake.
Yes, and we've got our next pit stopper with Albert Georgi, one of the VM Interplanetary guys, stopping at the 20-minute mark into the race.
And passing by the pits, we have Overdrive and Panic Fungus bumper to bumper with each other, battling for P12.
Battling
Down
for
to
P11 even, now that they overtook Albert Georgi in the pits.
Oh yeah, true. We also have Alex Arthur going into the pits as well. Yes, that's true. Okay. Let's see if Panic Fungus will fall to pressure once again as Overdrive breaks too late and hits Panic Fungus. Oh no!
The stewards are going to have a look at that. DJ Overdrive continuing on. Will they give the position back? They look to be going rather slowly. But Panic Fungus now being overtaken
by Casillas and Milia.
Yes, exactly.
And I believe we have another yellow flag. That is Trazione at Coppice. Exactly where our previous incident just happened, actually. Just under the grass, not moving.
Yeah,
Not sure what happened to Trazione.
Seem to not have the best of days today in the rain at Donington. But getting on now, going back on track, continuing the race.
Looking back at Overdrive and Fungus, it looks like the cars are not too damaged. Seems like they can both go on without much issues.
And Adrian Dubrovka moves into the pits now.
And by the looks of things, Gary Slater seems to be pulling up on Leon GHK.
That is true, but I'm going to have to mention something very rare right now. We have two people with a purple lap. That means both Le Casillas and Mirko VR are both on a 140.037. That is wow.
That is insane. Two drivers with an identical lap time.
With the identical best lap time even.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that's gonna be... Well, we're putting that in the race highlights, that's for sure.
That is incredible. That is incredible, and it's incredible showing, especially by Merco VR, who has had some troubles in the start of this race, but is now looking to gain back the pace, and is now looking to catch up to Victor Massato, and then putting their sights again on maybe even the top 2 drivers.
It looks like Mercury is finally able to drive the car now. It looks like all of his bad luck seems to have gone away, considering that they just tied the fastest lap of the race and are like now just blistering the fast, just trying to hunt down Masato and then maybe, just maybe, catch up to Emilia and Casillas.
Oh, and Trazione Integrale, who entered the pits, unfortunately did so, it seems, too quickly, as they got a stop-go 30 penalty.
Looks like today is not Trazione's day. Around Donington, at least.
And Albert Georgi has a yellow flag. Oh, there was a coming together in the last corner. Let us see what happened there in the replay. We have Albert Georgi going wide and getting turned around by the Lexus of, I believe that is Cop 90.
That's Jordan Brunch by the things.
Was that Jordan?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Jordan Brunch. That is correct. Jordan Brunch actually looking to lap Albert Georgi, but Georgi, the Hungarian, not letting him pass, but
Georgi spins.
spinning out. Yes. Oh.
Well, that's one way to let somebody pass you.
Involuntarily, most
Yeah,
likely.
Sadly.
And we have Adrian Dubrovka entering the pits for the second time. And Alex Benson with a drive-through penalty exiting the pits and not getting rid of their mandatory pit stop.
Oh. Now looking back towards the midfield, it looks like we have Jordan Brunch, Leon and Cobb 90, along with Gary Slater just a little bit back. Not close enough yet, but I think with enough time we might see a 4-way battle for P6.
Oh yeah, Gary Slater's also coming to that. That's true. Constantining up together a bit into the hairpins. Nobody's close enough for a move just yet.
Yes. They still have 33 minutes to go, so a lot can happen right now as Leon breaks a little late, overshooting and almost spinning out at Redgate, allowing Cobb 90 to catch up and pass the Audi. It's unfortunate. They're maybe getting a little too excited.
But Cop 90, props to Cop for very safely taking charge in this situation, taking advantage of the disadvantaged Leon JHK. Team Heike's driver, the partner of Jordan Brunch, looking racy and well-paced today.
Oh, what the hell was that? That was the Brovka's. Oh, that was the Brovka's Aston. Just saw a little bit of ping issue, I think, because I saw that car go Mach 3 for a second.
No, as the grid seems to be calming down at the moment, there seems to be no great battles. The closest battle on track is the team battle for P1, Le Casillas against Emilia Anderson.
Yes,
oh, but I say that, but Merco VR comes up to Victor Massato because they have to negotiate a back marker right now, and it seems like Massato got the worst of it.
Yes, looks like Merker is finally caught back up to Masada there, and Masada spins, giving Merkur P3.
That looks like an identical error as Merkur did earlier in the race. So yeah. Now Merkur is again in P3 and Gary Slater is closing up to Leon JHK.
It looks like Leon JHK's performance from the start of the race is slowly starting to losing some steam by the looks of things, as he's given up position to Jordan Bunch and Cup 19 has been seemingly struggling as what was that is.
I think there was Alex Benson turned around, managing to do a 180 J-turn, I guess. That's no, that's not a J-turn.
And things get a bit interesting as we have Casillas and Merkur both in the pit lane right now.
Oh yeah.
Both of them sharing the fastest lap in the pits together. I think Casillas was here a bit earlier, so he might exit first. Boy, things just keep getting interesting. And there goes Casillas. He's out of the pits.
Merkur is not moving
just yet, yeah. And them pitting has allowed Kaiser, Serkaz and Victor Masato to move up to P2 and P3. But those two have yet to do their laps as well, and they still have 25 minutes, so no rush there, but...
How about Merkur dropping quite a few positions? Let's see, do they have any direct competitors? No, they are not. They are not facing anyone on track for a whole 14 seconds in front and back. They've got a nice empty bit of track. Apart from the rejoining Aston Martin there.
That's Adrian Dubrovka's Aston Martin. I believe Adrian and Merkur are teammates.
They are teammates. They have matching liveries, and luckily there was no trouble between teammates right there. As Alex Benson and Trazione Integrale are in the pits, and Emilia Anderson seems to have pit right now.
Surely gonna allow Victor Masato to catch. Oh, actually, no. Masato's already passed.
Assetto is already passed, but Emilia Anderson, it's going to be interesting. Do they come out before Casillas or afterwards?
Well, here comes Casillas around the final turn, and Emilia is just exiting her pit box right now, and there goes Casillas. Looks like Casillas has done the undercut.
Quite a hefty one indeed, even. Saving up 3 seconds over their teammate.
That is a pretty successful undercut, if I do say so myself.
Leon JHK is now in the pits, and Top 90 is following Jordan Brunch. The two teammates are next to each other on track as Emilia Anderson spun out!
Oh, it's like she forgot that she was on cold tires right now. Yeah, you can't go on race pace instantly with those. She's still trying to get the car back on her under control.
I think that was out of the old hairpin, if I'm not entirely mistaken. Yes.
Yes, that is out of the. That is on the exit of old hairpin there. Heading to Starkey's Bridge. That's what my map says.
And this is now interesting because this means Merkur VR is only a few seconds behind Emilia Anderson, but getting held up there a bit by a back marker.
That is Alexander Arthur being lapped by Merkur VR.
But now Merkur has their sights on Emilia Anderson. Will this give them the power they need in order to even increase their race pace? Maybe push into the 39s. Still rooting for that.
And Psycho Kaiser, Tom Hardak, and Alex Benson is still in the pits. That's interesting. But, yeah. Psycho Kaiser in the pits as well. It looks like Victor Masato will try to extend those tires a fair bit, as he has now a whole pit stop worth of time between him and everybody else. He might be able to come into the pits right now, as he has the gap to just get away with a free pit stop.
Well, not quite to Le Casillas, but...
Yeah, he might come out next to, like, Casillas, maybe. Yeah, things are getting interesting.
And there's a yellow flag for Tom Hartog. Ooh, losing it! Managing to keep it sort of together, though. And now there's a yellow flag for Jörgi, who spins out.
And I believe they hit Trazione. We have more...
Let's go back. Now it seems like Trazione was the one that hit Jörgi in the rear, and Mentrix tried to avoid it and got off track a bit there as well.
I don't blame anybody on that incident, as Coppice is already a somewhat difficult corner to get right, such as most of Donington. So with people around, plus the wet and the cold, yeah, these kind of things happen.
It is tough. It is tough. And Jordan Brunch is moving into the pits. And there's a yellow flag for Adrian Dubrovka real quick there. Let's take a look if anything out of the ordinary happened there. Or was it just another ping issue, maybe?
Maybe.
Oh yes, it seemed to have been a ping issue.
It looks like Victor Mesada is still yet to pit, which is interesting.
And it seems like Alex Benson has withdrawn from the race, unfortunately, in the chat, and said cannot continue, doesn't want to get in the way of other drivers. Very thoughtful, but very unfortunate. I hope you at least had a nice time while you were racing. Gary Slater now with a yellow flag. Let's take a look at the replay, what happened there. Emilia Anderson right behind Gary Slater. Was there a coming together between the two? No, almost. Gary Slater just got a bit loose there, and Emilia Anderson just avoided the rear.
As someone who has raced Amelia for position myself, I will admit, Amelia is somewhat scary when you have her in your rearview mirror.
Humble brag much?
I'm not bragging, I'm just admitting to being scared of Amelia.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna brag about being in front of a damaged Porsche at Monza. Come on. I had every advantage I could ever have. I'm not gonna brag about that.
Fair enough. As it looks like Gary Slater is now pulling into the pits for their regular pit stop. Victor Masato and Cop 90 are still to pit.
Yes,
Nick Sayers having the provisional lead and catching up to Victor Masato, having caught up by 3 seconds recently.
Yes, which is why I believe Victor should have pitted as soon as possible, because as he keeps turning these laps, all he's going to do is just let Casillas catch up, because these two already have a pace difference between them in favor of Casillas. So if I was in Masada's situation, I might have just pitted. At least when the time for battling does come, he might have been on slightly fresher tires, which could give a small advantage if nothing else. And Victor Masada finally going into the pit lane as we speak, but not confident in them keeping position as they just pull in, and I believe that's Casillas already turning the last corner and it's gonna get a pass.
Casillas easily retakes one in that case. Let us see. As there's a yellow flag for Akito Asagawa, there are a few cars off actually there. Let's see. Take a replay there. Akito Asagawa. Oh, just getting a bit loose into the old hairpin, I believe. And losing it there, whereas someone else was already off. Jordan Branch now really tailing Leon JHK, or is it Akito Sasagawa? That is Akito Sasagawa. Who is in turn tailing Leon JHK?
The person tailing Leon is Akito. And Brunch is tailing Akito.
Oh!
And Akito's having a little bit of a moment there. Thankfully, Jordan's able to avoid it.
Cop 90 is now in the pits, so we can finally take a resume of how the top 5 are looking. After the pits, we have Le Casillas in front of Emilia Anderson, Merkur, Victor Masato and Psycho Kaiser in the top 5 right now.
Yes, and it looks like Psycho is somewhat close to Masato. If Psycho can keep up the pace, he might be able to catch up and pass Masato in the next 20 minutes.
Yes, 20 minutes is still a long time to race. There's many laps to go. Well, I reckon about 13. Something like that, maybe.
Around 13, 14 laps or so.
We'll see. There's still much time, and there's a drive-through penalty for Tom Hartog. And there's a yellow flag for Mentrix. They are
having a bit of a hard time as the race has gone on with track conditions right now.
Now there's a yellow flag again for Albert Jörgi. Also having a hard time with the rainy track, it seems.
But it looks like Donington is not for everybody.
Donington, more like Killington. It's killing all the drivers.
Especially Sector 2 seems to be rather bloodthirsty.
Oh, and Akito Sasagawa lose again here now in the last corner. And this allows Jordan Branch to really catch up now.
Yes, and it looks like on the exit of the last corner, it looks like Brunch did bump Akito's rear fender there. But it looks like nothing serious came out of it, so we're just gonna race on as if nothing happened.
Just low-speed bump drafting in that case.
I guess so. But then again, this is ACC. A little bump is like a torpedo.
Sometimes it is. It can very easily be. That is true. And oh, they're coming up to a back marker, and it looks like that might be Trazione Integrale spinning out there, trying to get out of the way of Akito Sasagawa.
Yes, that is Trazione spinning out and almost collecting Cobb 90 as well. That was very close there, as Casillas now comes through, and
Merkur, I guess.
nope, not Merkur. That was the
oh yeah, that was the Dubrovka. Dubrovka has the green, Merkur has the red. Right.
Yes, yes. We might need one of those Joda Motorsport for Dummies, but instead of Joda, it's IVGTC.
Aston Martin whack for dummies. Let's go. And there's a drive, and there is a punt between Jordan Branch and Akito Asagawa. Asagawa just not able to take the hairpins without spinning, it seems.
Yes, it looks like, as I mentioned earlier on, the Lexus is not a stable car on corner exits, so yeah, this is pretty much bound to happen. If you're not careful on the throttle with the Lexus, you're bound to just spin on every corner exit.
But Jordan Brunch is able to control it so very nicely, but not able to overtake, unfortunately. Maybe they are driving a higher traction control. Maybe they just have more control over this car right now in the wet scenario. I mean, we are talking a Scottish person racing against a Frenchman right now. Of course, the Scottish person is going to have more experience in the wet, ain't it?
I think that's more of a British thing than a Scottish thing.
The last time I checked, Scotland was part of Great Britain.
I mean English. Scotsmen are like better Englishmen. That's just a fact.
That is arguable, especially in terms of language, but let's not get into that too much right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Kageru Kanemoto with stop-go 30 penalty, probably speeding into the pits or out of the pits.
Yeah, that's our second SG30 of the race, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the first one was for Ventrix or
Trazione Integrale was the first one,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
And another yellow flag for Albert Jörgi, who is spinning out before I think Redgate. Yeah.
No, Redgate is turn 1. That he's at.
I am stupid.
Yeah, he's at Coppice.
Coppice.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's what I meant. Exactly.
How come you know? How come you're like a fan of Donington, but you still don't know the track name, like corner name? That still sounds a bit.
Because every corner has a name there, and I am very bad at remembering names.
You know what? Can relate. Like I have it on my phone, so I can't really talk that much.
Fair enough, but Akito Asasagawa is in the gravel. What happened there? Let us take a look at the replay. Losing it over the curbs and spinning out into the gravel there. Very unfortunate. The Frenchman losing the position to Jordan Brunch. And now 2 seconds ahead of Gary Slater, who now sees another victim, possibly.
Possibly. Yeah, it looks like turn 7 has been claiming a lot of victims lately. A lot of across the whole race right now. We've had quite a lot of incidents at turn 7.
Oh come on! You cannot tell me there is no corner name for turn 7.
There is. It's McLean's.
McLean's. There we go.
McLean's. Yeah, there we go. What am I not allowed to call it turn 7?
No. No, if it has a name, it's not allowed to be called any number.
Okay. Anyways, we have some interesting developments going on as Alex Arthur has still yet to pit. They still have a mandatory pit stop to do. So that's interesting.
Yeah, they still have 8 minutes to get into the pits for that stop. If they don't do that, there is going to be a penalty bestowed upon them.
Which we're not aware of.
We will see. And there's a yellow flag again for Tom Hartog. Really not having a nice race today in the rain. On getting in the way of Gary Slater there. Gary Slater really having to break down before McLean's.
Yep,
I now know the corner name.
Yay. Learning corner names with Ivano. Today's episode, Donington. Either way, it looks like Hartog's little mishaps continue as he's spinning again down the back straight. There is another yellow flag for Ventrix spinning at the last hairpin, last corner.
Jordan Brunch going a bit wide into the last corner as well. They're losing a bit of ground there to the person in front, which is directly in front. That someone, I don't know. They're not. They are far behind Leon JHK. Well, 2.2 seconds. So it will be Leon JHK right in front of them, who they just lost a bit of ground towards. Psycho Kaiser, in the meanwhile, is catching up to Victor Masato, challenging for P4, maybe the. Now, let's not say the wrong name. The Malaysian challenging the Swissman. There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We have 11 minutes to go. We'll see if Psycho can catch up to Victor. Maybe pressure will get to Victor, maybe pressure will get to Psycho, because even as an attacker, you can still feel some pressure trying to reach someone. So it's not like all the weight is on Victor's shoulders right now.
Well, the weight of the BM Interplanetary team kind of is on Victor Masato's shoulders, as Albert Georgi did not have the best of races today, so far.
Yeah, that is true. Well, Kaiser doesn't really have much to worry about, as their teammate, Radium, is not on track today.
That is true. But looking from the onboard, from the passenger camera of Psycho Kaiser, you can see how quickly, when you're in the slipstream of another driver, how quickly the screen turns full of water droplets. And that is quite the impairment on the vision. If you
we have a yellow flag, and that's Panic Fungus, who spun at a very bad location right at the old hairpin. Seems to have gotten the car back under him. It was a very sketchy situation. Panic Fungus was stopped across the track. Thankfully not on the racing line. If Fungus was on the racing line, I think we would be talking about something much different. Amelia by.
And it seems like Jordan Brunch is edging closer to Leon JHK now. Lexus driver looking to make up a position against the old Audi. Do you perhaps know, is it the old Audi or the Evo 1?
That is the old Audi.
Oh,
that is
really?
Yes, that is the Gen 1. The Evo 1 and the Evo 2 both have canards on the side at the front. But Leon has no canards at the front of the car, it's just the two vents. So, yes, that is the Gen 1 Audi R8.
The more you know, you learn something new every day, and much more speech is going to happen as Jordan Brunch manages to catch up to Leon JHK in just one corner. Holy hell, that was a sketchy line there by Jordan Brunch, but it paid off.
Yes, and now getting out of Coppice onto the back straight, which is called Starkey Straight. More trivia. Now side by side, it looks like they're both on par going into the S's. They're both holding their lines. Leon has to back off a little bit. Now Jordan passes by. Let's see if Leon maybe pass him again. Looking up the inside, diving down into the Melbourne hairpin. Now on the inside of Jordan Brunch, going door to door right now, going down to the last hairpin, the last corner. We have 7 minutes left. Let's see if they're going to be still battling for 7 minutes. Jordan Burns passes Leon again. Now Leon on Jordan's rear bumper. Jordan gets a much better exit out of the last corner and looks like he might get away. But Leon is still very close behind that Lexus. Having a bit of a bad exit. Looks like Jordan has officially gotten away with it.
Jordan now showing the pace of the Lexus. Let's see whether they can hold it. They have some troubles, maybe like Akito Sagawa showed earlier. Panic Fungus, however, is now battling a very damaged BMW of DJ Overdrive. Going for an overtake into red gates on the inside. Now coming into the Craner curves, the most beautiful set of curves on the entire world. Dubbed so not by me, but by many other racers. And manages to take the position away from the very badgered BMW.
Yes, I would say Overdrive's BMW has seen much better days.
Wait, that was not a position gain. That was an unlapping move from Panic Fungus in all reality.
Oh yeah, Panic Fungus is 3 laps down a bit.
So, in the meantime, we had some news. Oh, we're going to see what Alexander Arthur is going to get for a penalty if they don't dive into the pits right now. This might get very close.
They have 10 seconds. The pit entry is, for some reason, on the main straight instead of... And Alex doesn't pit. Pit window is now closed, and let's see what kind of penalty Arthur is gonna get.
I think we're going to see the penalty only at the end of the race. But we are seeing Akito Asasagawa right now on the tail of Gary Slater. Both Koneko racing drivers right behind each other with their beautiful black and pink liveries.
Yes, right now there's 5 minutes left in the race. I'm not sure if Akito is going to be able to make a pass during that time, but if Gary Slater does make any mistakes, that's surely going to be determining what happens. As we have Mentrix joining back on the track. Thankfully, they're both able to avoid it, and now Akito being able to take advantage of that and passing Gary Slater.
Honestly, that almost looked like a team order, but...
maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Something we do know is that Victor Masato, in the meanwhile, has lost the position 3 on the track to Merco VR, thanks to some incident that unfortunately was off track. Or maybe fortunately. Who knows how heavy it was. But it doesn't look too heavy as the car seems rather undamaged. This, however, brings Psycho Kaiser in the mix again for a possible P4, only being 2 seconds behind Masato.
Yes, 2 seconds is a relatively big gap, however, so unless Masato makes a big mistake or spins out, I would say he's got a pretty comfortable P4 to go
Or
home
has a back marker that doesn't move out of the way. They are currently behind DJ Overdrive, the very badgered BMW, who is going for a defensive line. Or just trying to let them pass offline. One of the two.
Maybe. I will admit that sometimes blue flags do not activate for some reason around the end stages. We have multiple yellow flags on the track. We have Tatiana going very slowly. Oh my god.
Now there's a yellow flag for Kanemoto, who just spun out into, I guess, the old hairpin. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Proud of myself. Old Hairpin is the only track corner name I knew going into this, and I recognized it without problem.
Yeah.
But Mentrix also losing it into the old Hairpin. It seems like this is Well, this is really the beginning of the bloodlusty second sector, and there's someone's coming rather quickly. That seemed to be DJ Overdrive right behind there.
Yes, that is Overdrive, almost damaging that BMW even more. There, but managed to avoid Mentrix.
Oh, but it looks like Mentrix's vehicle is also not in the best shape. The bonnet is quite bent up.
Yep, that bonnet is actually in his vision a little bit. When you check the cockpit cam, the bonnet is popped up, and since the bonnet of the Audi opens forwards, when that latch loses its grip, it's actually going to be in your face. And Mentrix is just cutting the S's.
Nobody likes that part of the track anyways, apparently,
No, I don't blame
according
him.
to the internet.
The S's is actually fine, the hairpins are the real bummer. And we have Mentrix spitting out. I think they got bumped by Georgie, actually.
Yeah, it seems to have been Georgi bumping them. We have 30 seconds left to the race, and Psycho Kaiser is within a second of Victor Masato.
Yes, 1.7 seconds behind.
Will that be enough, however? I don't think it will. Let's take a look where Le Casillas is. Will this be another lap? They are coming up to the Melbourne hairpin right now. This will be the last lap of the race in that case.
Yes, that will be the last lap of the race, assuming Casillas doesn't turn this BMW into a monster truck and goes over the hairpin and stands and killing everybody.
And they did not.
Yeah, sadly.
Thankfully. Okay. And they come onto the start-finish straight and cross the finish line. Le Casillas is our winner of the race, followed by Emilia Anderson. And it looks like Merkur VR is going to finish. And there is a 130-second penalty for Alexander Arthur for not doing the mandatory pit stop.
Now we know.
Now we know.
You don't go to the pits, you get a 2-minute penalty.
I believe it is also dependent on the length of the pit lane. So that would be a longer penalty in Spa, for example.
And Alexander.
What was that?
I'm not sure. I think... I can't speak, I'm laughing too much.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Merkur VR finishes in 3rd, Victor Masato finishes in 4th, Psycho Kaiser in 5th, Jordan Brunch in 6th, Leon JHK in 7th, Akito Asasagawa in 8th, Gary Slater in 9th, Albert Georgi in 10th, Alexander Arthur provisionally in 11th, DJ Overdrive in 12th, Panic Fungus in 13th, Adrian Dubrovka in 14th. I'm sorry I have to think about your name. I'm bad with names. Kageru Kanemoto in 15th, Mentrix in 16th, and Trazione Integrale in 17th position. Wow. This was an interesting race. Usually in rain races you don't have too much battling going on because it's much more dependent on the skill of the individual driver. However, today we had quite some battles going on all around racetrack around the entire time. What do you think of today's race, Ivano?
I will admit today was a lot more action-packed than I could have imagined. Last time we did a wet race last season, it was kind of calm and kind of safe, actually. So I wasn't expecting much going into Donington, going to this race. But you know what? I've been proven wrong. This race was pretty exciting, pretty action-packed. And I'm just hoping for more rain races in the future.
There might be some coming. Not this season, but maybe some other time. We will see about that. But yeah, I agree, this was a nice race. I always like it when we go to Donington. I always like going to Donington. I like Donington. Donington.
Donington.
Donington. Okay, now that that's out of the way, Donington, Donington, Donington. I said it, I think, enough times today. And so thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next week racing at Kyalami, I believe.
Yep, next week is Kyalami, going all the way to South Africa for a nice little race.
Yes, we will have a nice little race next week in South Africa at Kyalami at the South African V-Prix. Looking to see you back then. Thank you for watching and goodbye.